What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at all the Pokemon you can get legacy moves on during December Community Day and which ones are the best legacy moves to get and which ones should you be focusing on evolving. Timestamps below as always. If you don't know, between Friday December 17th at 10 a.m. to Monday December 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you might have to translate that into your time zone. You can evolve any of the 2020 and 2021 Community Day Pokemon to get their legacy moves which they got during their Community Day. I'm not going to go through them all, but I'm going to cycle through them on screen slowly here. But all of these Pokemon with their 2020 or 2021 Community Day move, you can go ahead and get during the time frame I mentioned. Now, I just want to make it clear right now, it's 2020 and 2021 Pokemon. You cannot get Meteor Mash on Metagross, Hydro Cannon on Swampert, Blast Burn on Charizard. Those are all 2018, 2019 Community Days. We're only getting 2020 and 2021 Community Day. I'll leave a link below if you want to find the full list of the Pokemon, since I'm not going to go through them individually, but only 2020 and 2021, I've made it clear. Also, since Eevee did have a Community Day this year and then also had one in 2018, I just want to know you're only getting the Eeveelution Community Day moves of this year, so you cannot teach your Eeveelution's last resort. That is from 2018. You're only learning the ones from this year. So for example, Psychic on Umbreon. Couple more things to go through. You're getting these legacy moves by evolving the second stage evolution into the third stage evolution during the time frame I mentioned. So for example, evolving a Gabite into a Garchomp during the time frame I mentioned will teach you the legacy move Earth Power. You cannot use regular charge TMs or regular fast TMs on any of the fully evolved forms to teach them their legacy moves. The only way you're getting the legacy moves is by actually evolving. You can't just TM on these moves unless you use an elite charge or an elite fast TM. Also, if you're trying to do a shadow Pokemon and it knows the move Frustration and you go ahead and evolve it, you're not going to be getting these legacy moves. Frustration will block the teaching of any of these legacy moves. So if you have a shadow Pokemon that knows Frustration, you cannot get legacy moves on it. You can only get it on shadow Pokemon which you've TM'd away Frustration. Also, some people say that you can unlock a second charge move and then evolve it and it'll teach you the legacy moves. That does not work, guys. Adding a second charge move to a Pokemon that knows Frustration and then trying to evolve it, the legacy move will always try to take the place of the first charge move slot, in which Frustration will block it at that point. So you cannot teach shadow Pokemon that know Frustration any of these legacy moves by evolving during this event. Okay, with all that stuff out of the way, just to make it clear so people are not asking questions in the comments, let's get into the video. This video, and you can see by the timestamps below, is going to be broken up into Great League relevant Pokemon, Ultra League relevant Pokemon, Master League relevant Pokemon, and then raid attacking relevant Pokemon. So you can go ahead and take a look at the section in which you like the most. One thing I just want to say, when I'm recommending Pokemon to evolve for the Great League and the Ultra League, specifically the IV sets you're going to be wanting to evolve is going to be low attack, high defense, high stamina. If you don't know, for the majority of Great and Ultra League Pokemon, you want low attack, high defense, high stamina because that'll make your Pokemon bulkier and stronger. If you don't know why, I'm going to link below a video and a video up here explaining that whole concept so you can find out why. So unless I say otherwise, for the Ultra League and Great League, low attack, high defense, high stamina is going to be the IV set you're going to want to evolve. Let's get into it, starting with the Great League. First Pokemon that's going to be relevant to grab for the Great League is going to be a Shadow Beedrill with the legacy move Drill Run. Shadow Beedrill is actually ranked 35 in the Great League, but you do need Drill Run Legacy. So this is going to be your chance to evolve your Shadow Kakunas into Shadow Beedrills to get this legacy move. But remember, you need to not have Frustration or you won't get the legacy move. Next up is going to be Empoleon. Empoleon with Hydro Cannon is a decent Special Cup Great League Pokemon. It's only ranked 63 in the Great League, so it doesn't look amazing. However, you can run Empoleon pretty effectively in the Great League and specifically in some remix cups when most of the meta is banned. And there's a place for Empoleon to step up when those common water types like Swampert are banned. Next up is going to be Altaria with Moonblast. Altaria is an absolute menace in the Great League, definitely a meta pick, and with Moonblast makes it even better. So if you have a Swablu you've been meaning to evolve into Altaria, although it is expensive for 400 candies, make sure you grab the candies during the Community Day event and then evolve it to get yourself a Great League Altaria, because that is definitely an essential meta pick to get for Great League. Next up, we have Talonflame. Now, although Talonflame places itself better in the Ultra League, Talonflame is still a very relevant pick in the Great League. But to run Talonflame, you do need Incinerate, which is that legacy fast move Community Day move. So make sure you evolve your Fletchinders into Talonflames to get one for the Great League if you don't have one already, because that's definitely an essential meta pick to have. Finally, Sylveon. Now, Sylveon's ranked 87 in the Great League, so not amazing, and there are better Charmers in the Great League to run, like Wigglytuff. However, Sylveon with Charm and Psyshock is one of the fastest charging Charm Pokemon in the game and could definitely put a hurt on the meta. So grab yourself a Sylveon for the Great League if you don't have one yet. Finally, for the Great League, let's just go through a couple honorable mentions. These are Pokemon that you can grab, but they're not going to be the most essential for that specific role. Starting with Roserade. Now, Roserade is actually the first Pokemon to learn 2 Community Day moves. You're going to have Legacy Bullet Seed, Legacy Weather Ball when you evolve your Rosalies into Roserade during the time frame I mentioned. Although Roserade does place itself better in other leagues, Roserade's still decent in the Great League and can handle some of the meta. Next up, we have Shiftry. Now, Shiftry is actually good without any legacy moves. You're going to want to run Snarl, Leaf Blade, and Foul Play. However, the legacy move Bullet Seed is pretty much a clone of its fast move Snarl, except it's a grass type instead of a dark type move. Although the dark type Snarl is better in the Great League because it has more coverage on the meta, Meta. Running the Bullet Seed is still great because then you have more coverage against Pokemon like Azumarill, Swampert, Jellicent, all those water types in the meta. So an option to get, but that one is really not essential. We also have Machamp learning the move Payback. Now Machamp is usually best with Cross Chop and Rock Slide as its moveset, but adding Payback can add yourself a little versatility in the Great League, and specifically some special Great League cups like the Kanto Cup, for example, in which Pokemon like Hypno are everywhere. So hitting a Hypno with a super effective Payback can surprise some people sometimes. Could be nice to have yourself a second Machamp for the Great League with Payback in case you want to try that spice. Second last, we have Umbreon with Psychic. Now, although Psychic looked really good on paper, unfortunately, Last Resort is going to be a better move for Umbreon because it allows it to hit more Pokemon in neutral damage scenarios. Psychic is great, however, to have on maybe a second version of an Umbreon in case you want to run it on a team that needs coverage against those fighting type, and Psychic can surprise some fighters that switch into Umbreon. Not the most essential, but still a decent move to have. Finally, we have Samurott. Now in the Great League, there's so many strong water types like Jellicent, Swampert, Azumarill, and Samurott does get outshined by all those Pokemon, but Samurott is a decent, spicier pick in the Great League to run, but I think it does better in other leagues. Okay, that's it for the Great League. Let's move on to the best picks and Pokemon to evolve for the Ultra League. First off, we're gonna have Charizard. Now Charizard in the Ultra League is actually ranked 71. However, to run a Charizard in the Ultra League, you're gonna need the Legacy fast move Dragon Breath, which is the move you're gonna be getting if you evolve during the time frame I mentioned, but you're also gonna need the Legacy fast move Blast Burn. That move you're not gonna get if you evolve during the time frame I mentioned. That move is a 2018 community move, so we're not getting it during this day, but doesn't mean you shouldn't go ahead and evolve a Charizard for Ultra League, and then you're just gonna have to invest in Elite Charge Gem to get that second Legacy move. So this is actually a double Legacy Pokemon to run in the Ultra League, but having Dragon Breath is very good in the Ultra League to cover a lot of those Dragon type Pokemon, specifically Giratina in the altered form. We then have Machamp in this league. Now Machamp in this league does a lot better with Payback. Although Payback is not always the best pick for Ultra League, running Payback is still good because you can handle those pesky Ghost and Psychic type Pokemon in the league like Cresselia, Giratina. Machamp is actually able to hit those Pokemon with super effective damage if it has Payback, so it can be worth to have a Payback version of Machamp and even Shadow Machamp in that league. But again, Rock Slide is still always a strong pick to go for, so if you don't actually end up getting a Payback Machamp for the Ultra League, no worries. We then have Gengar. Now Gengar is going to be best placed in the Ultra League, but you need Shadow Punch, which is the Legacy charge move you're going to be getting during this event. Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, Shadow Punch makes Gengar absolutely deadly in the Ultra League. It charges super fast and can handle so many strong meta picks. Get yourself an Ultra League Gengar, that is an essential one. We then have Gyarados in the Ultra League. Now Gyarados and even Shadow Gyarados, very strong Ultra League pick. Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail Crunch, and Aqua Tail is going to be that Legacy move we're getting. But remember, you need to evolve during the time frame I mentioned, because if you don't have Aqua Tail on your Ultra League Gyarados, what are you doing? Aqua Tail is an essential move to have because it's a quick charging bait move that is vital to Gyarados play. And then we have Empoleon. Empoleon is one of the strongest water types in the Ultra League, has great coverage against the meta, but again, you need to evolve it to get the Legacy Hydro Cannon. I hope you guys have a good Prinplup to evolve into Empoleon during the event. There has been a lot of Piplup events recently as well, so there's a lot of them spawning, so you should have no problem having yourself an Ultra League Empoleon. We then have Roserade. Now Roserade was an honorable mention in the Great League, but in the Ultra League, it sees a lot more play, as I find there's a lot more fighters in the meta and Pokemon weak to fire like Registeel, Alolan Ninetales, and all that stuff. And it can even handle fairy types with his poison type moves. Roserade, definitely a decent pick for the Ultra League. It's not going to be as strong as some of the other ones I mentioned, but still, Roserade, if you don't have one for the Ultra League, definitely go ahead and grab it. Now we have Talonflame. Talonflame is probably the #1 recommended pick to get for the Ultra League. It is ranked 3 right now in the Ultra League. It is a super strong pick, but you need Incinerate like we mentioned before. One thing to note about Talonflame though is it maxes out under 2,500 CP, so to actually run it in the Ultra League, you're going to want 100% IV or close as you can to 100% IV, and then you're going to want to XL that Pokemon. So you're going to need to get XL Candy, so you're going to need to be above level 40, then you're going to want to power that one all the way up to level 50 to run it. If you can do all those things, you're going to have a super strong Pokemon. Talonflame ranked #3 in the Ultra League. Definitely a strong pick. Finally, we have Sylveon in the Ultra League. Now, although Sylveon is going to be better in some other instances I'm going to mention, Sylveon still ranked 24 in the Ultra League, specifically great against those dark types, dragon types, which are very common in the Ultra League meta, I find. I think Sylveon is one of the best charmers right now in the PvP league, so definitely get yourself one. But again, you need Legacy Psyshock, which is that move you'll be getting. And remember, to evolve Eevees into Sylveons, you need to actually get 70 hearts with your buddy. And I don't believe there's going to be any, reduced hearts or anything during the community day, so make sure you have your Eevees prepped to evolve before the community day, so you're not trying to get 70 hearts the day of. Finally, some honorable mentions for the Ultra League. First of all, we have Umbreon with Psychic. Again, Last Resort is going to be a better pick for Umbreon, but Psychic is still there as an option. But Umbreon, similar to Talonflame, you do need to have that one as 100% IV. Then you need to max it out at level 50, and then you need to even best buddy the Umbreon if you really want it in the best case scenario for the Ultra League. We also have Shiftry. Now, Shiftry in the Ultra League is actually going to be XL as well, but like in the other scenario, Snarl is probably a better move to run on your Shiftries in both of the leagues, but having yourself a variant Bullet C1 is never a bad play as well. We also have Superior. Now, there's a lot of strong grass types in Ultra League like Trevenant, Abomasnow, Abomasnow, Meganium, you know, Venusaur, all those Pokemon. So Superior does get outshined by all those Pokemon, but you still can run a Superior in the Ultra League if you'd like, since it will be very accessible to a lot of people since it has a community, right? But Superior in the Ultra League does need to be XL'd. I think 10, 15, 15 is 100% IV. So you want it pretty close to 100% IV to run it in the Ultra League, and then you need to make it above level 40, but still a very strong Pokemon. Finally, we have Samurott, and similar to Superior, there's a lot of strong water types in the Ultra League. Swampert, you know, Jellicent, Lapras, all those Pokemon, and Superior is outshined by all those Pokemon, but Oshawott will be very common, and it'll be very easy to get yourself a Superior for the Ultra League if you need a budget pick and you don't have any of those meta water types. Also, Samurott does not need to be XL'd for the Ultra League, so a lot more accessible. Finally, for PvP, let's move on to the Master League. Now, I'm going to be talking about Master League Classic, and Master League Premier. All those Master League formats, kind of, these Pokemon are generally strong for all of those. First off, we have Gyarados. Now, Gyarados in the Master League, and specifically the Premier Cup, a very strong pick, but again, it's going to be the same scenario as Ultra League. You need to have that Aqua Tail on that Pokemon. You're going to want on Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail, and Crunch. We then have Roserade in the Master League, and specifically the Master League Premier Cup. I don't think Roserade has as much play in the actual open Master League with all the legendaries, but in the Premier, Roserade can handle itself. There's a lot of Pokemon weak to fire, like, you know, Excadrill and all that stuff. So definitely a strong Pokemon to have up there. By the way, any of these Master League Pokemon I'm mentioning, the IV set you're going to want for them is close to 100% IV as possible, because Master League does not have a CP cap, so taking them to the highest CP is going to be in your best interest. After that, we have Garchomp. Garchomp is an interesting Pokemon to run in all the Master League formats because there's multiple different movesets you can run. One of the common movesets people like to run is going to be the Dragon Tail Sand Tomb moveset, which pretty much requires you to use Sand Tomb to drop the opponent's defense and then use Dragon Tail to keep hitting that with some hard neutral damage. The other Garchomp you can run is going to be the Mudshot Outrage Earth Power, which is pretty much the nuke Garchomp, which charges really fast but hits really hard with Outrage and Earth Power. I definitely recommend having yourself 2 different Garchomps, so maybe evolving one to get that Legacy Earth Power during the community day, and then having a second Garchomp which you can evolve at a later date since it doesn't require any Legacy moves, and that one will be your Dragon Tail Sand Tomb Garchomp. There's 2 options you can run for the Master League Premier. Just make sure you get that one variant with the Legacy move during the community day. Finally, we have Sylveon. Sylveon is one of the best Charmers in the Master League. It is competing with Togekiss. However, Sylveon and Togekiss are the only 2 Charm Pokemon you want to run. The one thing I will say is Psyshock does see less use in the Master League since there's not a lot of poison types up here in the Master League. So running Psyshock not as useful as Togekiss's moveset, but still a good Pokemon to have for the Master League. Couple honorable mentions for the Master League. First of all, we have Gengar. Now, Gengar does see a decent ranking at rank 79 in the Master League, but I think it is still too frail to run in the Master League. You can try running a Gengar in the Master League if you have one you use for the Mega, and then, you know, just, you know, switch it over. But still, in the end, Gengar, I would stick to the Ultra League. We also have Porygon Z. Porygon Z is actually ranked 64 in the Master League, and I will consider it a spice pick, so not something really part of the meta, but you can surprisingly handle some of the meta with this Pokemon. You got Pokemon like Giratina Origin, which pretty much can't really touch Porygon in this league, and a couple other Pokemon with that Tri-Attack and Blizzard and Lock On. It charges really fast, and it's a really interesting Pokemon to run. Maybe I'll try one out myself. Finally, we have Rhyperior. Rhyperior is going to be ranked 45 in the Master League. Now, the problem with Rhyperior, it has a lot of double weaknesses. I believe it's double weak to grass and double weak to water, so it's very frail, but, you know, it has a decent moveset and can handle some Pokemon. Really not part of the meta, but, you know, might want to try a Rhyperior, and I have seen some here and there in the Master League, but any of the honorable mentions are not necessities to get. Finally, let's move on to raid attacking Pokemon relevant to use when taking down raid bosses. Now, I just want to say, if I don't mention a certain Pokemon, it doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It just means that you don't need to evolve it during the community day, because its ideal moveset is not a Legacy move moveset or a moveset that you can get during the community day. So I'm only going to mention Pokemon here that are relevant with the community day moves you can get during the event, and you're going to want to have those moves if you're using them as a raid attack. First of all, it's going to be Garchomp with Earth Power. Running Mud Slap and Earth Power on your Garchomp is going to be necessary if you want to use Garchomp as a ground type raid attacker. Earthquake is outdated. Earth Power is the new meta for ground type raid attackers, and Garchomp is the #1 overall ground type raid attacker right now. So definitely a strong Pokemon. Evolve your Gabites into Garchomps, get Earth Power, and get yourself a team. Also, on the topic of Garchomp, Garchomp does have a Mega Form in the future, in which for that Mega Form, you're going to want to make sure you have Earth Power, because that's going to make the Mega Garchomp the #1 ground type raid attacker of all time. So make sure you get that move for a future potential Mega Garchomp. The other meta one is going to be Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker. Now, if you guys don't know, Rock Wrecker, one of the strongest rock type moves in the game, and this makes Rhyperior the #2 overall rock type raid attacker in the game. So evolving yourself some Rhydons into Rhyperiors, getting yourself a full team of 6 rock wrecker Rhyperior's is definitely essential during this community day. If you don't have one, you can even use Rhyperior as a ground type raid attacker if you want to double move that Pokemon and then just cycle out the fast move. Finally, a couple honorable mentions for raid attackers. First of all, we have Charizard with Dragon Breath. When you evolve Charizard into Mega Charizard X, it actually becomes a part Dragon type Pokemon. So if you ever want to use a Mega Charizard X as a Dragon type raid attacker, because I believe it's like one of the best Dragon type Mega Pokemon right now, although it's outclassed by a lot of non-Mega Pokemon, it is still one of the best Dragon type Megas. You're gonna want to have a Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, Charizard to Mega Evolve into Charizard X if you're gonna use that Pokemon. It's not essential at all, but you know, if you're gonna have a Charizard from Mega X, go ahead and do it. Finally, we do have Mega Altaria with Moonblast. When you evolve Mega Altaria, it becomes a Dragon and Fairy type Pokemon, and the only Fairy type move a Mega Altaria can learn is gonna be Moonblast. So if you're ever gonna use a Mega Altaria and you wanna be using a Fairy type move to do super effective Fairy damage, I'm not sure where that scenario would come in because Mega Altaria is not an amazing raid attacking Pokemon. You know, that's just an honorable mention. Get yourself your Mega Altaria with Moonblast, I guess. That's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope that pretty much answers all your questions, but if you do have any questions about, you know, should I evolve this? Should I evolve that? You know, I have multiple options, you know, all this, please comment below. And also, if you're a smart guy, you know, feel free to help answer some of those comments below so we can help each other as a community. Question today for you guys is, what Pokemon are you most excited to evolve during the community? I'd be very curious. Me, myself, I have a level 50 Gible waiting to get that Legacy Earth Power. So I'm definitely excited to evolve that all the way into a Garchomp and have my level 50 Garchomp ready to go for when the Mega Garchomp comes out. That's it, guys. I really appreciate y'all tuning in, guys. We're gonna see y'all in the next one. Fall for tips, everyone. Peace.